Can you find me something that'll, like, make people think I know what I'm talking about? And nothing says, I think this guy knows what he's talking about, than this. Where'd you even find this? It's full of cat hair and it smells like...
Go Battle League, the hot, kinda not really new so much anymore craze in Pokemon Go, brought to you by Niantic. Riveting gameplay, impeccable touch response time, your Pokemon always do exactly what you tell them to do, and best of all, just like in the main series games, your knowledge and skill determine the outcome of your battles. I've been playing so much GBL that I decided, hey, let's make a YouTube channel. Definitely not because I wanted another outlet to vent to, after being lead hard countered 9 times in a row, because I can tell my wife's patience is probably wearing thin at this point. What's up guys, my name's Rob. I've been playing a lot of GBL lately, and I decided starting in Season 4, I'm going to start making some videos. Probably start Twitch streaming at some point in time. A bit of backstory, Seasons 1 and 2 went pretty hard, playing close to max sets every day until hitting rank 10. Season 1 was particularly rough to hit rank 10 because there was no Masters Premier League at the time, and I'm not that big of a raider in Pogo, so I didn't have things like Dialga or Giratina Origin. Plus I was only level 37 at the time, so that made it a little more difficult, in tandem with not really knowing the game as well as I do now. But I did hit rank 10 before all 3 leagues came back, so I thought that was pretty cool. Season 3 I took considerably slower than the first 2 seasons. I only played maybe 2 or 3 sets every day, and it was paying off. I got pretty high up on the leaderboards at the time that the first player had hit rank 10 in Season 3. But then Niantic did what they always do, and they started screwing around with the ELO games, because it was clear that not a lot of people were going to be able to hit rank 10 with how it was currently set up. So now it was possible to gain nearly 100 points in any given set if you went 5-0, but you could also lose that much if you go 0-5, which had the potential to invalidate most of your progress so far in that season. And of course it was at this point in time that every match I queued into, the first mon I would see was this or this. Sometimes this thing, I don't know. I think King made a video on it or something, but mostly this and that. So I dropped a lot, but eventually we still got there, and all was good and well. So I'm going to show you guys my rank 4 sets from the first day of Season 4. Rank 4 I started to match with a lot of previous rank 10s from the other seasons, so I think the fights are a little more interesting. We did manage to get to rank 6 by the second last set of the second day, with a pretty decent win ratio, and I regret not filming any of the second day's fights. I was not at my computer at the time, I was pooping, so when you poop you can't record your fights. The team we're going to be using is a team that I was using a bit during Great League in Season 3. This is the team here. It's fantastic. It's not an abomination at all. For real though, I think it works really well. Pelipper, I believe, is the star of this team. It works fantastically as a safe swap. Meganium's there to cover the Azumarill that everyone and their grandma is running, and G-Fisk is just a really solid, tanky lead that does well against a lot of the meta. So let's get into the fights. Okay, so for anyone wondering, the IVs on the G-Fisk are good. The IVs on the Meganium and Pelipper are not very good. Okay, so we have G-Fisk into Azu. So we don't like this at all. We're going to safe swap into Pelipper instantly. And I'm going to keep fast attacking, try and build up to that Hurricane. And he's going to throw a charge move. We can take a charge move from Azumarill with Pelipper, no problem. They're going to swap into Altaria here. And we had enough banked energy to toss a Hurricane, and it goes unshielded here, which we love to see. I'm not going to get to another Hurricane, so I'm going to throw a Weather Ball. Probably going to go unshielded, and it does. And I'm going to get fast attack down. And this is perfect for me, because I'm going to come in with my Stunfisk, and I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to Mudshot this thing down, because there is nothing this Altaria can do to me. So we're going to load up on as much energy as we can. Take another Sky Attack, again, not a problem. And the Azu is probably coming back in at this point. So I'm going to insta-swap to Meganium. And they have a Ferrothorn in the back. So all shields are still up. This is probably a power whip, but we need to be a little worried about flash cannon if they are running flash cannon. I'm going to bait here with a frenzy plant, hopefully grab a shield. I do get a shield, which is fantastic. And we're going to go for Earthquake this time. And that also gets shielded. But we're sitting in a pretty good position at this point because we still have both of our shields. I'm going to shield this one even if it's a power whip. I don't want Meganium to get too low. And we got some Go Battle Lag there. Fire off the Earthquake. And after this connects, I'm going to swap. Well, I'm going to try to swap. Gonna have to preserve our Meganium here. Gonna swap into G-Fisk now. Expecting the Azu to come right back out. We're gonna hit it with an Earthquake. And because the Azu already dumped its energy, we're gonna be able to get to a Rock Slide first before it can hit us with anything. Mud shot it down. And just gotta hit the Ferrothorn with something, but our opponent quits out and the game crashes. Okay, so let's get into our second fight here. We have Stunfisk on Sunny Cherrim. Okay, this Pokemon actually gives the team problems. The issue with Sunny Cherrim is that it's going to outpace me to my Rock Slides and hit me with these Weather Balls. I want, ideally, my Pelipper on this thing. But if I safe swap into it, it's probably going to swap out. So I'm going to go ahead and hit with a Rock Slide first before I swap out to the Pelipper. And in comes their DD. Interesting thing to note that if both Weather Ball and Hurricane are going to hit neutrally, 2 Weather Balls actually out damages Hurricane. You save a bit of energy going for the Hurricane, but it's really not that big of an issue. So if you don't want to risk getting the Hurricane shielded, you could just dump 2 Weather Balls. I make a mistake here, and I think that I can wing attack it down and save some energy, but I don't. So now I'm down both my shields, and it's really not looking too good. I'm gonna get to throw a Hurricane at the Azu. I know I'm not going to get to a second Hurricane, so I go to throw the Weather Ball, but the Azumarill reaches its charge move. We do live barely. Get to throw off the Weather Ball. Get a little bit of chip damage in. We're going to go into the Meganium now. I know the Cherrim's going to come right back out and had some sort of energy, so it's going to dump those Weather Balls. And there's really not that much that I can do. My opponent has 2 shields, and this is definitely going to get shielded. And down the Meganium's going to go. And very shortly afterwards, the G-Fisk is going to go down. So yeah, Sunny Cherrim, I've found to be, well, I haven't run into a lot of them, but there are very few Pokemon that I've found actually give this team a huge headache. Sunny Cherrim is definitely one of them, because it's very difficult to line up your Pelipper with it when you're playing Pelipper as a safe swap. So good second match. Let's go to the third. So we have our Stunfisk on a Skarmory. This is perfect. They're definitely going to swap out. They go straight to Toxicroak, and we're going to go straight into Pelipper. Hit it with those super effective wing attacks. They definitely got enough counters in to get the Sludge Bomb, so we're going to have to shield that up. It is a Sludge Bomb. Hit it with a few more wing attacks, and we're going to go for a Weather Ball. And if they don't shield, they're going to go ahead and shield, try and preserve this Toxicroak, but we've got so much energy. Weather Ball charges so quickly, and they go down both shields. So at this point, I don't mind dumping my second shield here to ensure that the Galarian Stunfisk remains aligned with the Skarmory. You get to throw in a Weather Ball even against the Skarmory, which is fantastic. But we're sitting in a fantastic position right now. Probably going to get Fast Attack down, but we do get one more Weather Ball off. Any extra chip is great. Pelipper finally goes down. Pelipper did his job. It maintained switch. And we got a Venusaur in the back here. So we're going to throw an Earthquake at it really quickly. And we'll go into our Meganium here. I know we can survive a Sludge Bomb. And this is actually ideal because of the amount of damage that we took after we kill this Venusaur with the Frenzy Plant. Skarmory is not going to be able to come in and get a lot of farm, but even if it did, it really wouldn't have mattered. It was so low on HP, and we have a nearly full health Galarian Stunfisk. It would have needed to reach like 4 Sky Attacks or 2 Brave Birds or something, and that's not going to happen before we get 5 Mud Shots in to reach a Rock Slide, so GG's there. Just going to throw our Rock Slide and secure the dub. So perfect. So I'm actually noticing, I know we're only a couple days into Season 4, but G-Fisk's utility as a lead seems to be pretty good. A lot of people are leading Skarmory or Galvantula now that it got lunged. This is not a good lead though. We need to get out of there. The counters are going to be doing a ton of damage. Let's go straight to Pelipper again. Dump a Weather Ball. And it's going to throw some energy. Probably dump this Night Slash and then get out of there. Yep, that's what I expected. So we got an Altaria here. Weather Balls aren't going to be doing a lot of damage, but we can just barely get to the Hurricane. We either grab a shield here, or if it goes unshielded, perfect. So it's just like the first game. Altaria's in the red. We're going to come back in with our Stunfisk. I think it's got a little bit more health this time. I'm still going to commit to the Mud Shot down because I want to get to 100 energy. There's nothing this Altaria can do to kill my Stunfisk. So I'm going to sit here and just farm up. And my opponent gets to another Sky Attack. I'm still not going to shield this. I know my G-Fisk can take it. But they do try and counter me down before I can throw off my energy. So great move on their part, but we do get both Rock Slides off. We'll see if they want to preserve their Obstagoon, and no they don't, they let it go. And they bring the Altaria back in. I insta-swap to Meganium so I can go ahead and start getting ahead on energy. Take out the Altaria, and they have a Shadow Torterra in the back. So all shields are still in play. I just need to hit this thing with one Frenzy Plant. It is a Razor Leaf Shadow Torterra, so I will be outpacing it to the charge moves. And I know this is a Sand Tomb. No point to keep both my shields, might as well shield it, but now the Razor Leafs are going to be doing a bit more damage. We did just get the second shield though, so I just need to get to one more Frenzy Plant, and this will be enough to take out the Torterra. So, pretty nice game. Very, very nice to see something like a Shadow Torterra in the back. Okay, so we'll get into the last game of the set here. So we have our Stunfisk on and a Alolan Marowak. We actually like this. They're going to insta-swap out to Azumarill, and that's what we have Meganium for, to catch those safe swap Azumarills that a lot of people seem to be running. If you swap fast enough, you can get the Frenzy Plant off before they get to an Ice Beam. I'm not sure if that was the case here, if they were just storing energy, or maybe they don't have Ice Beam. It looks like they threw a Play Rough, so maybe they don't have Ice Beam. And we're going to go ahead and farm it down. Fully expecting the AWAC to come back in, and it does, but we did build up enough energy to throw an Earthquake, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Probably going to get shielded. My opponent knows how much energy my Meganium has, and they're going to go ahead and Fast Attack down. So I could have went with Pelipper here, but Pelipper's matchups against most of the meta are a lot more neutral, and I know that G-Fisk has a good matchup against AWAC, so I brought the AWAC back in here. So we correctly shielded up the Shadow Ball after letting a Bone Club go. Gonna throw a Rock Slide, and that goes unshielded. Get to another Rock Slide here, and we'll see if my opponent wants to preserve his Marowak. And he does. So we're gonna swap into Pelipper at this point, start getting ahead on energy, and they have a Charmer in the back. So I'm just gonna go straight for the Hurricane. It's gonna do a ton of damage. Shields are down, and we're going to be able to Wing Attack down. And we do have a Weather Ball almost ready to throw at the AWAC, but my opponent quits out. So good game there. So a nice 4-1 for the first set of rank 4.
Okay, so let's get into the second set of fights.
we have our Stunfisk on a Drifblim, so this is really good for us. I want to throw these rock slides before I get hit with an Icy Wind, but I'm worried that my opponent's going to bail out, so I check to make sure he's staying in before throwing the first one. I'm not sure that 2 would kill after an Icy Wind debuff, so I want to get them off as early as possible. I'm going to let this charge attack go through. It is a Shadow Ball, but our attack isn't debuffed, so that's good. I'm going to throw another rock slide now at this point. We'll see if my opponent wants to invest a second shield, and they do. They invest both shields onto this Drifblim, so looking pretty good for us. Going to throw another rock slide here. It's going to go on shield. My opponent doesn't have any shields left, and I know my opponent's probably not going to dump a Shadow Ball onto me with that much health remaining, so I try and catch the Icy Wind on my Pelipper, and I do, which is fantastic. I know I'm not going to win this matchup against the DD, but I'm just going to try and chip it down as much as possible before Pelipper goes down. And we managed to get 2 Weather Balls off. Looks like my opponent's trying to stock up on a little bit of energy here. And at this point, with the Deoxys this low, I'm comfortable letting the Pelipper go down. So I'm going to come in with my Meganium at this point in time. Start farming up on some energy. The Drifblim is so low that a Frenzy Plant, I believe, will take it out, so we're going to farm up some extra energy before killing this Deoxys here. And it's going to go down. The Drifblim is going to come back in, and he's going to hit us with what's probably an Icy Wind. Shield that up, and we'll go ahead and take it out with the Frenzy Plant. And now we have 2 Pokemon, 1 shield, and a mystery in the back. It's a Lantern, and these Frenzy Plants are still going to chunk even though I am debuffed, my opponent puts out. So good game there. Okay, getting into the second match here. We have our Stunfisk on a Spiderbug, and Spiderbug is incredibly popular right now. Its access to Lunge makes it really good against a lot of the top meta. So my opponent switches out into their own Galarian Stunfisk here, and I'm going to dump off an Earthquake, grab a shield, and I was debating switching into Meganium here. I wanted to dump their energy first. It looked like my opponent was lagging a little bit, unfortunately, so they do throw their Earthquake. We shield that up, and then we swap into Meganium here. And this is just a Rock Slide. We're going to let it go through. Going to go ahead, farm up a little bit, throw off a Frenzy Plant. This shouldn't quite kill, but it definitely is within farm down range at this point in time. So they're going to be able to get off 1 more Rock Slide here. We'll eat that up. And we farm down the G-Fisk. Now I make a bit of a misplay here. Spiderbug is so glassy that I could go ahead and hit it with 2 Frenzy Plants. It would knock it out if they both went unshielded. I go ahead and hit it with the Earthquake, which doesn't quite kill, and I definitely had enough time to get to a second Frenzy Plant. But that's alright. We come back in with our G-Fisk. Gonna get hit with the charge move here. It's a Lunge, so our attack's gonna fall, and they have an Azu in the back. So instead of dumping any of our energy, because we are attack debuffed, I'm gonna go straight into Pelipper here. Gonna take a charge move. It's an Ice Beam, and we're gonna farm all the way up to a Hurricane and throw it. And it goes unshielded. Second charge move coming in from the Azu. Another Ice Beam. We'll see if we can get another Weather Ball. No, we cannot. But we have so much energy on our G-Fisk that we're going to be able to go for 2 Rock Slides here, even if the first one goes shielded. Second one's definitely going to get through before they get to a charge move. So this will be taking out the Azumarill, which is great, and now we can just Mudshot Spiderbug when it comes back in. So good game there. Alright, getting into our third match here. Probably could have cut these queue times a little bit. That's okay, I can do that going forward. So we have our G-Fisk on another Alolan Marowak. So again, good for us. We're going to start Mudshotting here. And it looks like my opponent's going to bank some energy before going into their Azu. So now we're going to swap into our Meganium. They're able to get an Ice Beam off first, that's fine. I'm going to farm up a little bit more. I'm trying to time my Vine Whips so that they don't get any extra bubbles. I should be able to get 3 for every 2 of their bubbles. Throw the Frenzy Plant there, and I can't quite Vine Whip down before they're able to get to another charge move. So gonna have to invest a shield here. That's okay, I'm gonna get the shield right back when Marowak comes in. I'll throw an Earthquake here. And if this goes unshielded, it's gonna do a ton of damage, so it gets shielded. Meganium goes down, and we're gonna come back in with our Stunfisk. Charge move coming in, and I'm going to take it as just a Bone Club. That's great. I'm going to go for a Rock Slide here, and my opponent switched into Shift Tree. So get the first Rock Slide off. I'm going to try and grab the last shield here. If this goes unshielded, it's going to do a ton of damage to the Shift Tree, and we could probably just wing attack it down at this point. So get the last shield here, and I make a bit of a mistake. I thought that I CMP tied with the Weather Ball here. I didn't. And Shift Tree definitely beats Pelipper in CMP. But the game registered that I touched the button, so what I'm going to do here is completely undercharge this, hope that it does very little damage, so I can wing attack down the Shift Tree, get some more energy, and then have a Weather Ball ready for when the Marowak comes in. So able to hit it with a Weather Ball there, and we're in a good spot because they have to throw a Shadow Ball to take me out. A Bone Club's not going to do it. So now they're empty of energy, and all I have to do is reach a Rock Slide before they reach a Shadow Ball. And they get to a charge move. I know it's only going to be a Bone Club, and we're able to take the win. So good game there. Okay, fourth match. Yeah, these Q10s are a little bit much. I apologize for that. Okay, G-Fisk on Registeel. This is perfect. We love to see this. They're going to swap out to Hypno, and I make a bit of a questionable play here. I'm going to throw the Earthquake at the Hypno. Based on team comp, I'm banking that Azu's in the back, and even knowing that, I swapped into Pelipper here. I don't know why, honestly. I thought maybe it didn't have Thunder Punch. I could just shield the first one and take a look. I say it's a misplay because if it is Azu in the back, both Pelipper and Meganium have good matchups against Registeel and Azumarill. I could have just stayed in with the G-Fisk, which has a better matchup against the Hypno. But instead I throw in Pelipper here, and we're able to bring the game down to a zero shield situation. That's fine. Pelipper's going to go down. We're going to come in with Meganium and farm up a ton of energy here. And they swap out, they lock themselves into their Registeel here while preserving their Hypno. So we're going to go ahead and hit it with an Earthquake, and now we're going to swap into G-Fisk because there's no threat of a Water type coming in. So we do good hit with the Focus Blast. We're going to throw some Mud Shots here. Hopefully the Rock Slide and Mud Shots are going to be enough to take out the Registeel, and it looks like they are. So now the Azumarill comes in, can get to the Earthquake. Could have just thrown the Rock Slide, honestly, because I'm still going to need a Frenzy Plant to knock it out, and the Rock Slide plus the Frenzy Plant definitely would have been enough. But now the only thing I need to be wary of is a Sack Swap on the Hypno. And it looks like the Frenzy Plant is going to land on the Bunny, and just take it out there, and the Hypno is going to go down to one Vine Whip. So good game. A bit of a questionable decision bringing Pelipper in there, but it ended up working out, so we take those. Okay, getting into our last game of the second set, our last game of rank 4. We have our Stunfisk on a Swampert. This is not good at all. We're going to instant swap to Pelipper, and it looks like my opponent is going to bank a Hydro Cannon before swapping into their Skarmory. So we've built up a bit of energy. We're going to go ahead and throw some Weather Balls. First one goes unshielded. We get to a second one here. We'll see if this gets shielded. And it does not. So we need one more Weather Ball to knock out the Skarmory. I panic a bit here because I think a Brave Bird will kill the Pelipper in this range, and I didn't like where the game was going if I lost my Pelipper at this point in time. I wanted to at least try and grab a shield before I went down. So I end up shielding the Sky Attack, which wasn't really that good. We are able to take a shield from the Skarmory before Pelipper goes down. So now the Skarmory's a bit lower, we can come in with our G-Fisk, start farming up. My opponent's not throwing, we're able to get the 2 Rock Slides here. So we throw a Rock Slide here, take out the Skarmory, we have a bit of banked energy. I know the Swamper's coming in, and I'm going to swap to Meganium here. And is this going to be a Sludge Wave? I thought it was a Hydro Cannon. It's not. So this is not looking that good. We're going to try and get the Earthquake off on this Registeel before Meganium gets locked on down. But we're not sitting in that good of a situation here. We do get locked on down. I have a shield left, but it's going to have to come up right here because the Focus Blast is going to do a ton of damage. So we get the Focus Blast shielded. I'm going to throw a Rock Slide here and pray that the Mud Shots are enough to take out the Registeel before it gets to another charge move. They are. And my opponent still has a shield, so I need to successfully bait the Rock Slide to get the shield, which I do. Hydro Cannon is going to do a lot of damage here. I'm worried about the incoming Mud Shots. Somehow we're able to reach an Earthquake on effectively 0 HP. So, good game there. Lots of questionable decisions on my part, but we're still able to overcome a bad lead. So that wraps up the second set there. We do get a 5-0. Item mix full. Fantastic. Trico, I don't care for this. Get rid of it. And we are rank 5. Pretty cool stuff. If you guys like this video, be sure to let me know. I would love to hear some feedback. It was my first time using a video editor. I know the audio is a little rough at times. I'm hoping that it'll get better in the future. Follow me on Twitter. I don't really use it that much right now, but I'd love to get more involved in the PvP community. So hit me up with a follow. I'll probably follow back. And yeah. So she didn't want to subscribe. Okay.